There was someone who once wept bitterly before the victim's altar, and another who insisted, "I did not take part." But when they stood before the court, what truth was revealed? This is episode 3 of the Binh Phuoc Massacre series. In this episode, we arrive at the trial of the case, one of the hearings that drew thousands of followers across Vietnam. We will hear again how the indictment was read, how the cross-examination went deep, what the witnesses said, and how the defendants confronted each other in their testimonies. Will justice reveal everything?
The day the trial opened. December 17th, 2015. The late-year weather in Binh Phuoc was chilly. From early morning, hundreds of people crowded around the Provincial People's Court building. Everyone wanted to witness the trial with their own eyes. Security was tightened. Thick iron barricades were erected. Riot police on guard. Every entrance was strictly checked. Around 8 a.m., the prison transport vehicle arrived. Nguyen Hai Duong, next to him, Vu Van Tien, and Tran Dinh Thuy. All three were escorted into the courtroom. The indictment read aloud. The prosecutor stood up, voice firm, reading the indictment for more than an hour. Nguyen Hai Duong, charged with murder under Article 93 of the Penal Code, with aggravating circumstances, multiple murders, murder of children, brutal conduct, careful preparation. Also charged with robbery. The indictment described step by step from when Duong conceived the idea of revenge, lured friends, prepared weapons, until the night of July 7th, when 6 people were slaughtered. The courtroom was silent as death. Each victim's name read aloud. Each detail of how they were killed sent shivers down spines. The day the trial opened. December 17th, 2015. The late-year weather in Binh Phuoc was chilly. From early morning, hundreds of people crowded around the Provincial People's Court building. Everyone wanted to witness the trial with their own eyes. Security was tightened. Thick iron barricades were erected. Riot police on guard. Every entrance was strictly checked. Around 8 a.m., the prison transport vehicle arrived. Nguyen Hai Duong, in a white shirt, thin-faced, head bowed, stepped down. Next to him, Vu Van Tien, small-built, pale, vacant-eyed, and Tran Dinh Thuy, short, uneasy, eyes darting. All three were escorted into the courtroom. The indictment read aloud. The prosecutor stood up, voice firm, reading the indictment for more than an hour. Nguyen Hai Duong, charged with murder under Article 93 of the Penal Code, with aggravating circumstances, multiple murders, murder of children, brutal conduct, careful preparation. Also charged with robbery. The indictment described step by step from when Duong conceived the idea of revenge, lured friends, prepared weapons, until the night of July 7th, when 6 people were slaughtered. The courtroom was silent as death. Each victim's name read aloud. Each detail of how they were killed sent shivers down spines.
When it ended, the presiding judge turned to the defendants. "Have you clearly heard the indictment?" All three mumbled, "Yes, we have." Interrogation of Nguyen Hai Duong, the mastermind. The first to be interrogated was Nguyen Hai Duong. Judge:
Do you admit to all acts as stated in the indictment? Duong raised his head, eyes red, then bowed down. Yes, I admit. The courtroom seemed to hold its breath. Judge, why did you kill the entire family, including innocent children? Duong choked. I only meant to take revenge. The family blocked my relationship with Ling. When it happened, I couldn't control myself. I'm sorry. Murmurs of anger rippled from the audience. Prosecutor, you claim you couldn't control yourself, but you prepared knives, gloves, cable ties, and recruited others. Was that a spontaneous act? Duong stayed silent for a few seconds, then nodded. Yes, I did prepare, but at first I only intended to rob. I didn't think I would kill so many. Victim's family lawyer immediately countered. To rob property, but prepare weapons so carefully, plan for a whole month, silence each victim, that is not robbery, that is premeditated murder. The atmosphere tightened like a drawn string. Duong kept his head low, saying nothing more. Vu Van Tien, the accomplice drawn in. The second to be questioned, Vu Van Tien. Judge, Defendant Tien, why did you agree to take part? Tien trembled. Your Honor, at first Duong said we were going to collect a debt, then to steal property, not to kill anyone. I was scared, but I didn't dare refuse. I didn't think the consequences would be this grave. Prosecutor, sternly. Throughout the crime, you witnessed each victim being killed. Why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you run away? Tien's eyes filled with tears. I was afraid. If I ran, Duong would kill me too. I didn't dare. Defense lawyer asked, Did you directly kill any victim? Tien whispered, Yes, I did hold the knife, but under Duong's orders. I regret it deeply. Sobs broke from the victims' family seats. One relative jumped up, pointing. Regret now? What good is that? 6 lives are gone. The judge had to bang the gavel, calling for order. Tran Tin Phuoc, the one who withdrew. When called, Tran Tin Phuoc stepped forward, stammering, I affirm I did not take part in killing. That night I only reached the gate. Then my wife phoned urging me home, so I left. Prosecutor pressed. Did you know what Duong asked you to do? Thuy stayed silent, then said, At first, Duong said it was a robbery. I did bring a knife, but I truly didn't think it would be killing so many. Judge, sternly. You carried a knife, planned with Duong, even tried climbing the wall. That is preparatory accomplice. Leaving midway does not erase criminal responsibility. Thuy hung his head, repeating only, I beg for leniency. I didn't kill anyone. Witnesses and related parties. Witnesses were called. A worker from Mr. Mee's timber workshop stood, voice trembling. On the night of the crime, I saw a strange young man near the gate. Later, I learned it was Dun Young. At that time, I thought he was just visiting Lin. I never imagined. A neighbor testified. Around 2 a.m., I heard the dogs barking fiercely, then silence. I didn't dare go out. Only in the morning did I know. The whole neighborhood was shocked stiff. Most heart-wrenching, relatives of the victims were invited to speak. The mother of young Nhu stood up, sobbing. My daughter was only 18, about to sit university exams. Did the defendants think of that? Did they think of the 18-month-old now orphaned? The courtroom sank into sorrow. Cross-examinations, the truth gradually revealed. The trial moved into confrontation. Tian testified, "I was forced by Duong. I didn't dare resist." Duong countered, "No, Tian agreed from the start. At times he acted even faster than me." Tian burst into tears. "That's not true. I never wanted to kill anyone." The courtroom stirred. Tuai firmly claimed, "I left. I did not participate." Duong pointed at Tuai. "He agreed too, even prepared weapons. If not for his wife's phone call, he would have done it with me." The clashing testimonies angered the spectators further. One side pushed blame, the other admitted but dodged. The judge closed the interrogation with this statement: "The defendants carefully prepared, fully aware their acts were unlawful, but still carried them out. Their blaming one another does not change the nature of the crime."
Ladies and gentlemen, those were the tense hours at court, the heavy indictment, the cross-examinations, the witnesses' grief. The truth gradually unfolded, that this was not a moment of impulse, but a calculated crime with accomplices and preparation. But one question still remains unanswered. When facing the harsh sentence, what will the defendants say in their final words?